Welcome to Ansys tutorial by Tute-point. In this tutorial let us perform a static structural analysis in Ansys. Here let us perform a static structural analysis of a plate with a whole component with dimensions as shown in the figure here. With 100 mm length and 50 mm width with 10 mm thickness. And with a 20 mm hole at the center. Which is made of structural steel material. With the material properties as stated. With density 7,850 kg per meter cube. Young's modulus of 2 × 10 raised to 5 megapascal. Poisson's ratio of 0.3. Yield strength of 250 megapascal. And the boundary conditions include fixing one end of the plate. And applying a tensile load on other end with a magnitude of 20 Newton. And the results that we want to find in this condition are stress and deformation. Now let us perform this analysis in Ansys Workbench. Here we have the Ansys Workbench opened up. And before going to any analysis we must make sure that the proper unit system is selected as per requirement. Then let us import the static structural analysis system into the project schematics window. After which let me set the material data by going into the engineering data. As stated in the problem, the material used in this case is the structural steel, as it is the default material. We do not have to input it here, and hence we can continue with the analysis by closing this window. And let me import the geometry into the analysis system here. By right click on geometry and import geometry by browsing for the file. And next let me open up the mechanical window by double clicking on the model. And the component has been imported into the mechanical, as we can see here. After which let us set the material for the component. But by default it is structural steel, so it is set. Next step is to mesh the component. So let me go to mesh, and to do that let me right click on the mesh and say generate mesh. As we can see, this is a coarse mesh, so let me reduce the element size to 2 mm and update the mesh to get a finer mesh. And hence a fine mesh of the component has been obtained in this case. So let me input the boundary conditions for this component as stated earlier by clicking on the static structural and followed by supports and fixed support, then select the face and say apply. Next let me input the force by going to loads and forces and select the face and apply and give a magnitude of 20 Newton. Which is acting as a tensile load. Next let us add the results to be found, in this case total deformation and von Mises stress, and solve to get the results. And hence the results have been computed, and the maximum stress produced is 0.15154 megapascal, which is very low. And the stresses are concentrated in the vicinity of the hole. Next let us see the total deformations. Which is about 7.4759 × 10 raised to -5 mm, which is very low, and the deformation is maximum in the free end and there is no deformation on the fixed end, as we can see here. Let me animate the results to see the stress concentration regions. Next, let me animate the results to see how the component deforms. That is it in this tutorial, and for the complete course visit our website.